Awesome. We are live now. Well, good morning, everybody. Happy weekend. Welcome back to some weekend whips. I have a lovely, whoa, other way. There we go. I have a lovely guest with me. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. I'm Helene Foy. I am an author tuber here on YouTube. I almost said Instagram. It's real early, you guys. Haven't finished my coffee yet. I post writing related content videos twice a week I don't have a specific schedule. Oh, heater just turned off. I don't have a specific schedule yet, but it's about 2 videos a week. And then I also host writing sprints on my channel too sometimes. And today, I'm probably going to start by working on a little bit of schoolwork before I get into writing. I might do some beta reading, actually. Hopefully, by the end of this stream, I'll be able to start on some beta reading, but I just need to get school out of the way first. And yeah.
How fun. Perfect. It looks like we already got someone here. Hello, Alice. Fun fact, Alice, that is like the fastest anyone has come onto any of the streams that have been on my channel. Usually it takes about, well, I think StreamYard, I can't remember if it's like 5 minutes behind or like 2 minutes behind, something like that, where like first 2 minutes are like, oh my gosh, there's no one here, but it's because literally no one can see you yet. So, but wow, that was super fast. Um, yeah, I like how you said like, oh, I'm just going to be working on homework today, but I usually like always tell people like with these sprints, you don't just have to write. Like literally, if you need to get chores done and you need to set like a 20-minute timer because that like helps motivate you, totally do it, you know? So that is what it is all about. I honestly am trying to figure out what I am going to do during these sprints. I have a lot of editing work to do. I'm trying to figure out my computer here. Come on. My computer is very old. Well, it's very used. So it struggles a lot.
Mm.
Um, it was my college laptop, and I worked
Oh,
for 6.
wow.
Yeah, so it's still working, but I always have to keep it plugged in or else it will die.
Oh,
So I need to take it. I need to take it in because I'm pretty sure it's just a battery issue that just needs to be resolved. So okay, let me find a timer. How long should our first sprint be?
ooh. I mean, I'm good with whatever. If you want to do like a shorter one or just jump right in, like,
We could
I'm
jump
good.
right. Let's
Yeah.
see. We could do a longer one. Come on. Trying to get some of the fun timers out.
Oh,
Maybe one
yes,
that's
you have Can I ask where you find these fun timers? Because I always just use like the Google timers and I want to spice things up a little bit on my live streams.
yeah, it's called classroom timers. So I think it's mainly supposed to be used by like, school teachers. But they're super fun. They are really, really fun, and I have like a lot of different ones. They always kind of like show up different ones each time that I come on here. Where's my streamer? Okay, there it is. Hey, Devin's here. Woo!
Yes,
Devin,
howdy, Devin.
Devin, who I thought was from Tennessee last time, but is definitely from Canada because it was so early that one day. He's like, "Oh, Toronto is like pretty snowy here," and I'm like, "Is that Tennessee?" It is not. Awesome. And then it looks like Alice is going to be doing the same thing. So, doing a little bit of homework, beta reading, and writing, which is awesome.
Nice.
All right. So, I tried to keep the timers Montana esque since we are in Montana. So, the
Yes.
one that I have is canoes.
I love it.
All right, so we've got 4 canoers, and do you want to start with like 20 minutes?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, we'll set that there.
Oh, they're so fun.
That's funny. Look at him go. All right.
I like how they're just like they're ready to start paddling.
Yeah, look at them. They're prepping. They're ready to go. Let's turn off. Will that turn off the volume? Okay. Because the music on here is so loud. It always startles me every time I start it. Okay, all right, and we are all ready to start with our first sprint, starting now. Yay! All right. Looks like who was it? I was number one. Number
Hey.
one. Also, I'm really sorry, guys, about the glitches on my computer. It's as you can see, that is not a real time. I don't I don't know what happened, but it's okay. All right. Yeah, thanks guys
Oh,
for being patient with all of my computer problems. But yeah, how
you're
did that go
good.
for you?
Well, I decided I'm not doing biology this early this morning. Um, I was looking because I had an assignment. It's technically, this is my biology with lab class, which is completely online, so that's fun. I had to order like a lab kit and do it myself. But basically, I thought, yeah, it's really weird. They like sent me in this lab kit, and I've never done lab before because I was homeschooled for high school, so I never like took a lab class. So all this is me trying to figure out how to do it on my own.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so anyway, I thought I had at least one lab that didn't involve like mixing chemicals, but I have questions about that one I need to ask, so I can't even work on that. And the other ones I have to go mix compounds and time solutions and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to mess with that while I'm doing a live stream. So I
right.
ended up switching to beta reading, which was nice. I
Yeah.
always love reading was a much nicer thing to start the day off with than biology.
Absolutely. Well, my gosh, you guys said really funny things while we were writing. Hold on, let me get to this one. This one was my favorite comment of the day. They have taken over the chat, and yes, yes, we have. But it works because Canadians are the best.
Yes, this is true.
I've noticed the main, I don't know why, but the main hubs that I feel like are on AuthorTube, I see a lot of Canadians. I also see like kind of like people from the US very like spread out. I feel like none of them live in the same place. I've known like people who move around a lot in the US or like Texas, and obviously there's Montana, like East Coast, like we're just kind of like spread out everywhere.
Mhm.
And then Australia and UK is also a really big one.
Yeah. I've always found that interesting, and even on like Instagram too, I guess because most of the people who follow me and who I follow on Instagram are in the writing community. It's kind
Yeah,
of the same demographic too. Yeah, it's just fascinating.
that is. All right, and looks like, yes,
Hey,
it is there. Woo! Hopping over from Bree's stream. I don't know who Bree is, so you should write down what her last name is so that I can go
Dip
check it out.
Brie Bonomo.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of her stuff. I'm still like trying to meet people for sure.
I
So,
feel that she's awesome. She has some great, she has bookish content and then writing content and very sweet.
what was the last name again?
Bonomo. So it's I'm gonna
No.
make sure I spell this right. Buonomo.
Okay. Well,
I
at
think
the very least, I have her first name figured out. So if I guess her last name, I'm hoping that that'll get all figured out. Yes, the clock did corrupt, and that was my fault. I'm sorry, but you know, I'm glad
tech
that
gremlins.
there's a reason for it. You know, it's not all my fault. Those tech gremlins.
I bet it's
Ooh,
the Canadian tech gremlins because the Canadians have taken over the chat. So
oh, there you go. It's your guys' fault, the Canadians. But don't worry, still love you guys. It looks like someone else was working on biology too.
hey, part four of five. Oh, you're almost done. I wish I was there. I'm not.
Oh man. Yay, Courtney's here. Courtney's one of my
Nice.
friends, and it is true. Her husband is Canadian. He's born in Canada, lived there for about, like, I want to say 7, 9 years.
Oh wow,
It
that's
is
awesome.
very interesting because there are some things that he says are Canadian, and I think he's lying just to mess with me. Like he says however instead of however, and his brother does that too.
Huh?
So I'm like, is that a Canadian thing? They're like, yeah, I think so. And then I asked last week, like, is that true? And they're like, no.
No, it's not.
No, no. Yeah, honestly, I feel like this would be your reaction. It'd be like,
No,
did my cat?
basically.
People just thinking you're a mad scientist over here.
Well, and it was really sketch because when I did get in my lab kit, it was all smashed. Like the box was all smashed. And I was like,
Oh,
nothing better have broken. Like they better have packaged this really well because I don't, everything was fine. I didn't see anything cracked, but I was like,
right. Can
bro,
you imagine if like chemicals mixed and then you just became like the new Spider-Man or something and you're like, this is
right?
what you get for being online in biology,
I'd be like, yes. I don't even need to do college anymore. I can just go save the world.
right? Okay, so I do remember Canada is very big on
Yeah.
opposite sides of the country. Oh my gosh, a 4 hour plane ride.
Dang.
That I mean, I guess that makes sense because if I think of like going from California to New York, it's like a 4 or 5 hour plane ride. So
That's true.
Canada is the entire space of that. I have yet to go to Canada, even though I live in
Me
Toronto.
too. Me
Yeah.
too. I'm like I've stood at the border and like seen over into Canada and I'm like I should go there one day. Just like
Probably go.
walk through, but I haven't yet.
I was about to say, I think that like Utah is just as far away as Calgary, Canada. And I know that a lot of people have stuff in like Calgary that they really like doing. So I'll have to go. I'll have to go
Yes.
sometime. And it looks like you spelled it right. You spelled her name right, so
I
that's
get there's names like mostly with names, I have to type it out to visually see it and make sure I spelled it right. So I was hoping, I was like, okay, I hope I'm gonna spell it right without having to see it.
right. I know. Okay, now I'm gonna try to find another. Let me refresh this so that we're not like all glitched. I swear, with any of my lives, I don't know if it's just the combination of my, yeah, see, it's doing it again, of my computer and like StreamYard at the same time, but just for some reason, it just glitches super bad. So what
It
I could
could be because I know that StreamYard takes a lot of, I don't know, I don't think energy is the
do,
right term, but you know what I mean? Like the,
yeah,
because I tried to like edit videos while doing a live stream and it glitched so bad because it was using so much memory and power from both. So it could
interesting.
be that.
Probably. Let me see what I can find. Oh, these guys are cute. Hold on. Now it's hard to decide.
Are they
Ooh,
bears?
let's see. Yeah, I'm scrolling through them right now. Hey, let's do some more water activities since it's actually like 50 degrees up here.
I
And
know it's summer.
now it's summer in Montana. It's always so funny whenever I talk to my folks in Arizona because they're like, oh, like it was really cold today. I had to put on a jacket. It was like 50 degrees. And I was like, yeah, out here, when it's 50 degrees, people are running, people are biking.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they're taking like, walks on the river. They're walking their dogs. Like it's totally summer here. Whenever it is warm up here, people take advantage of it.
Oh yeah.
So
Well,
I
and
think,
warm even like by Montana standards. The other day, or not the other day, maybe like 2 weeks ago, back when it was still like in the negatives for most of the time, at least where we're at.
yeah.
Um, there was one day that it was like 34 degrees, and we were like, oh my goodness, you guys, it's actually getting warmer out. And I was like, that's so funny. Like anyone else, if they saw it was 34 degrees, they'd be like, it's so cold. But here in Montana, we're like, it's out of the negatives. Yes.
I know. Well, and when I used to live in California, I used to wear like my like winter jackets. They were like winter jackets, but they were like the biggest jackets that I owned, and I would wear them in like December and like January when it was like 30 degrees and raining. So, and now I'm like, oh, it's 30 degrees outside. I could probably get away with wearing like my light jacket. Like it's
Yeah.
totally toughened me up now, which
I
is
take off the jacket if it gets too hot, but we'll see.
yeah, like just put like maybe like kind of like an overshirt, like my
Yeah.
shirt underneath and a jacket. You should be fine. You layer up, you're fine. Okay, so now I've got a speedboat race.
Yes.
So we're doing just all the water activities today. We just want summer to happen now. Is that too much
Yes.
to ask? I think
Right.
everyone is very over is very over winter. All right, we will see if it glitches. today. Hopefully it doesn't, but even if it does, it seems to like still work and end when it needs to. So, all right, so I put this one for 10 minutes. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I like it.
Sweet. All right, 10 minutes. And got all of our little guys on here. I think it's funny, everyone in the comments is always like, I'm rooting for like a certain one. I
Yes.
think I'm
Wait.
gonna root for this guy who's got like a missing thing on his anchor.
Okay.
I'll take number 4.
I'll take the second one, number 2,
Number
with the
2.
star.
Love it. He's the only green boat.
Yes.
There you go. All right. So we're going to be starting our second sprint, and the timer is starting now. All right. It looks like number one won. Look at that. Number two was doing good for a really long time, though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he was. I thought he was gonna win.
Dang it.
I know. Close
Or
call.
two.
Oh,
I think number one won last time too, right?
oh really?
Wasn't it for the canoeing? Was it the
I
first one that
don't
won?
know. What? Oh my gosh, you're right.
It's a conspiracy.
It is a conspiracy. It's just always number one. So next time I do a timer, if everyone just votes for number one, then maybe it'll win, or maybe they'll switch it around.
There we go.
I am not the strongest editor. I will be the first to say that. So I'm struggling, but it's okay because I'm still learning. So I've basically been working on the same short story editing for this whole time. There are just a couple of plot holes that I don't like and that I need to fix. So that's what I've been up to. How about yourself?
It's good. Also, before I say anything, plot holes. Okay, plot holes. You are allowed to struggle with plot holes because they take. I mean, it depends on the plot hole, but you're basically having to like rework, entire scenes or entire settings or conversations with plot holes and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it is understandable.
No, that's one of the hardest parts for writing, I think, is writing something you're like, wait a minute, that's not real or doesn't make sense. So now I
Hmm
have to go back.
And like there's times too when you're like, well, I could write myself out of the plot hole, but then
Right.
also some plot holes you just can't, or it's just gonna seem really like unrealistic. Like there's a part in Project Goldwings, my Icarus retelling, that
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna have to edit because um there was a part that basically they abandoned their horses for something and because they had to make their way on foot. And so then they're just like living it up in this nice little tower that they discover. And then I, as the author, realized, oh, wait, the horses, they were supposed to go back for those. So I literally wrote that into the thing. I was like, wait, the horses. Oh,
No.
we have to go back. And I was like, that just seems a little too on the nose that the author clearly forgot about the horses. So I'm going to have to rework that in these upcoming edits that I do.
No. And you know there's always going to be that person who's looking for plot holes. There are just certain people who just really love to see how others mess up. My dad is one of those people. Like he
Mhm.
will like when like he's watching a movie, he'll be like, they're in a different outfit than they were in the scene before. Or, oh, their hair looks different in this cut. And now the other one. Bad editing. And I'm like, oh my god, watch the movie. So I'm like, and so that's in the back of my mind of like
Mm.
being like, this doesn't make sense though.
I mean, it could be like good though
Yeah.
to be aware of all that, but yeah,
Oh,
no, my dad's the same way. He was also that one who like he would take us to magic shows, but then point out how the magician did it, and I'm like, Dad, I just want to watch.
I just want to watch the magic show, Dad. Don't ruin it for me. Oh, that's hilarious. Maybe all dads have just made a pact to just like make things as realistic as possible, and when it's not, like you have to point
Yeah.
it out to people. I don't know when they did it, but they must have.
I
Oh,
think he just really likes like I don't know puzzles and like figuring things out. I think that's just like something he likes to do. So I think he just sometimes I don't think he realized that he was saying stuff out loud, and I'd be like, Dad, can I just watch the magic show,
like,
please?
oh my gosh, that's really funny. Let me see. There was a big conversation in the comments about planning Canada trips. So, as much
Oh,
as I would love to display that, there are a lot of them. So, we're going to jump over to, let's see. So, I don't know what this means.
I have no idea what that means.
So, I guess no. I
Wait,
guess
wait, wait. I'm gonna look this up. What does this mean?
I
This
don't
seems like a very Canadian term.
I know. Yeah, what does that mean? Lassie, where'd you go?
Okay, so this is the Urban Dictionary.
Oh no.
Oh wait, no, we don't want the Urban Dictionary. I don't know. I can't find it. Is it a native? American people originally inhabiting the northern shore. That's what I'm kind of finding here.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that what it is? Because I haven't heard, I know in around the area that I live in, like there's uh some Blackfeet, Salish, Kootenai, Pend d'Oreille.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um, but yeah.
those are all familiar. What does my dog have? Oh, my shoes. Okay, good. I'm just
I always have to check
walking.
that with my dogs too. I'm like, okay, what are you eating something toxic? Oh no, it's okay. We're fine.
You're
We're
fine.
fine.
You're fine. I know. Just leaving her down there. Of course, she's trying to get into the garbage. I'm gonna pretend I don't see it. So yeah, Alice, you should give us some help of what that means. Courtney
Who
guessed
shall
that
win?
number 2 would win, and then we had a vote for number 3. I had a couple of votes for number 3.
Oh yeah, that's true. It
Yeah,
matches.
that's really funny.
Maybe
Okay,
the next one, number three, will win.
okay. Oh, and this is one of my friends. She has 2 little kids, and I guess that they're watching this video instead of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Ah,
I love it.
yes.
Yay! Well, we love that you guys are watching too.
Oh, that's so
Um,
cute.
that is super adorable. Starting to work on part 5 of a bio. Awesome. Glad we could help you out with that. Apparently, it's a weather thing.
Oh, okay.
So I guess we don't. I haven't heard of it yet.
Yeah.
So it's when pressure builds up in the mountains and sends warm air, making winter weather warm.
Oh,
Maybe?
it could be. I don't know. Like even I know sometimes the like you can see the feels like temperature too, and it's usually been pretty consistent, but I mean there have been some days where the sun's been out and that's made it feel warmer. So,
Yeah, I was about to say we're at a pretty high elevation, so that's why it's called like Big Sky County. So I
yep.
think that also might be another factor if we like do have this. Look at us, like ignorant Americans. That's what I
Um,
feel like right now. I'm like,
well,
I
maybe if I actually like visited Canada, I would know this term, but no.
we need to educate ourselves on these
No.
different weather phenomenons that, obviously Canadians know better than Americans. I love it. This is so fun. Okay, so we've been on here for about an hour. Do you want to do one more sprint for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Let's do 15 minutes so that we can have a
Sweet.
20, 10, and 15. Okay, so now let's find one more Montana-esque, Montana-like. If I can find one, we'll see. Quality timer, random number generators, clocks, exam, chance games.
Hmm. They have one with bears.
Ooh, yeah. Let me see if I can find. I'll have to look at like the animal timers.
I don't know, that just feels very Montanan to me.
I've got snails, horses, puppies,
The
racehorses.
horses.
Yeah, I've got horses.
Also, fun fact, despite me being a Montanan, I've never gone horseback riding for like a long period of time. I've had friends who have horses and I've ridden like in the corral with a horse, but I've never actually like gone riding.
Writing, yeah. I have been writing once. It was on my honeymoon. My husband and I took horseback. He had
Oh,
a little horseback trail for us because he knows I love horses. Horses are my favorite animals. I don't know
I
why. I
love
just love
that.
them. And it was really funny because the writer was like, "Oh, like how experienced are you guys?" And it was like, "I've taken a total of 2 horseback riding lessons, so I know exactly what I'm talking about." So give me like a really young horse. I don't care if he's skittish. Like I was like really like. Now that I look back, I'm like, okay, I probably sounded really annoying to that guy. Like he's like, yeah, you've ridden a horse twice, like 1 hour each. Wow, you're very good. And then my husband, he's like so honest. He's like, I've never ridden a horse before. So like please give me one that's nice. And so he got the horse that had been on the trail for like 15 years. And that was like where they lived and stuff, since it was kind of like a touristy place. So he knew like exactly where everything was. And he was like so slow and old.
Oh,
And
see, that's
then,
the kind of horse I would need to ride because I love horses, but they scare me a little bit because that one time I rode the horse through the corral, I was like I was taking a break and I was resting my arm and between like the little bars of the corral, and a
oh
horse came up behind me and bit my elbow. I was like, I was really little too,
my
so
gosh, that rude.
yeah.
You're like, why did you do that? Why did you choose violence today?
I was like, what? They're like, oh, and my friend was like, oh, he's just playing. I'm like, I didn't feel like it. I have red marks on my arm.
It's playing a little rough. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, my horse is the one that just barely got there. He's like 3 years old. He was a really good horse still, but he didn't know where everything was. So he like kept on tripping.
Oh,
He kept on tripping over like rocks and like the stumps that were kind of in the way. And he kind of like freaked out a bit and like paused, like, oh my gosh. And I was like,
oh,
are you good? And he's like, so horses are so fun though. Well, now we know we need to go to Canada and we need to go horseback riding. I'm pretty
yes.
sure there are horses in Canada, right?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
I would hope. Oh, oh my gosh, my dog. Okay, sorry. All right, so 15 minutes, right?
Yep.
All right. So we've got 4 horses. Oh, look at how great they are. So everyone, we need to vote for number one because it's obvious that this thing is rigged.
Yeah, right.
Horse race timer. Look at
Ah,
them.
they're so cute. Also, okay, actually, I don't know. Their smiles are creeping me out a little bit,
They do look very cartoonish.
but they're cute. It's like cute, creepy.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, come here. Come here. I'm gonna vote for number one because I like the all black horse for some reason. I think he looks really cool.
Yeah. I'll go with number one too, just because I'm seeing a pattern emerging.
Yes. All right. So last 15 minutes of the sprint. Everyone can you can cast in your votes in the comments because that's kind of fun to see what everyone's votes are. And the timer starts now. There we go. of course, the one time number one doesn't win is the time that we both vote for it.
I know. Oh, but wait. I said, Yaza, I bet you three will win this next time. I should have voted for three. I don't know why.
Oh my goodness, how funny. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, okay. Come on. So now I feel a little bit better because Alice did say that our mountains might not be large enough for this to
Oh,
happen. So let's bet on that. And glad to hear that Canada has horses. I feel like that would be a really good spot to have like horseback riding tourism, especially during the summertime, because I feel like Canada's gorgeous. Oh,
yes.
and moose too.
Yes, moose.
Not the moose.
They're fun to look at from far away, but not close up. They're kind of scary.
What's crazy is that I feel like moose are very like peaceful creatures when you're like watching them. You're like, wow, so serene. Like they just exist and they're fine and they're just there for a good time. And then you get real close to it and it turns into a monster.
Yeah,
And for those who don't know, I am more scared of moose than bears. Bears
which
freak.
is understandable, actually.
Really? Okay, because some people are like, you're weird. Like, you should be more afraid of a bear than a moose. Like, you can't fight a moose. There's no way you
Yeah.
can. You can't fight it.
Well, I feel like too, I think we talked about this too on our last one. Like you in Montana and when you live up in like the northern, I feel like you always hear about how to, prevent bear attacks, precautions you can take, but you don't really hear that about moose. It's
No,
very much just like, oh yeah, bears, and then like I don't know what I would do if I ever like came up against a moose. I don't know anything about that, like how you would protect yourself or how you prevent that. You only hear about bears, how to stop
yeah.
them from
The only
attacking.
thing that they say about moose is don't approach moose. They're
It's like, what if they approach you?
I know what happens when they come up to you, and it's like, then just be prepared to die. It's like,
Well,
I
and moose
love
too,
that.
like wolves hunt moose in packs. Like they have to have like a full pack to take down a moose,
Oh
which
yeah,
is scary.
moose are humongous, and you don't really realize how big a moose is until you see one. Like
Yeah.
they're over 7 feet tall. They're basically like the size of like sometimes like semi trucks can see them like at head level, which I'm like, that's bizarre. No
No.
creature needs to be that big. No creature needs to be that giant. Yeah, Alberta has a lot of horses. Ooh, they have wild horses.
Oh, that would have been a battle to see.
Two horses taking on a moose. Honestly, if it's a wild horse, I feel like they could take it. There's
They're
just
pretty
something.
scrappy.
Oh yeah, there's something about wild horses where they're like, I will fight anyone any day of the week, and they're cool with it. I mean, it kind of does remind me a little bit of the movie Spirit. I don't know if you ever watched that movie when you were a kid.
No, but I read Misty of Shingotig for school. I don't know if anyone's read that.
Oh, there
It
you
kind
go.
of reminded me of that.
Okay, I've never read those books. Spirit's a good movie. It's very like 2000 esque, but oh, I'm forgetting his name. Brian Adams plays all the music,
Oh,
so it's really good.
I know the soundtrack. I heard the soundtrack is really good. That's a really good movie.
So good. It's so good. I cry every time. There's
Oh,
it's an animated movie about horses.
animated movies, I tell you what, like I don't cry, and this is gonna make me sound terrible. Like I watched Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I didn't cry. Obviously, I felt very, very sad. Like I don't usually
Yeah.
cry with movies and stuff, but the only movies I have cried at have been animated movies, and I don't know why, but they hit different.
I know. Well, especially like Disney and Pixar, I feel like they especially are starting to like really want to get into like more adult themes, like so that the adults can enjoy watching it. I mean, Disney
Yeah.
has always been like that. Like in Tarzan, I remember when I was a little girl, I was like, oh, that's sad. Like he has to leave now. He has to leave all the gorillas. Okay. But now I'm an adult and I'm like, you'll always be my
Family.
mommy. And I'm just like crying, and my husband and I are like, I did not remember this movie being so touching and so sad, but it's because you're an adult and you understand things so much more. Kids are like, Mom, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? And you're like, because it's sad, okay? Because it's so sad. I felt the same way about oh, what's it called? Onward. That one made me cry. That one was
Yes.
really, yeah.
Was
But
that the one? That was the one with Chris Pratt and yes, okay. I keep forgetting the name of that. That's probably like my favorite animated movie I've watched this year.
really,
Or last
it's
year technically. Oh
really
my
good.
gosh.
I think they tied it in perfectly at the end, where it was like a brother brother relationship and how like important it was that he like basically raised him. And I was like, oh,
That
why did
was
you
so
do
sad. Well, I'm the oldest in my family, and I was like, that's all I
that?
want my siblings to think. No, but it was, oh, that one I cried. I was like back there, and everyone else was like, oh, like I was watching it with my family, and everyone else was like, oh, and I was like crying in the back.
I'm the oldest too, so maybe that's why I cried.
Yes.
That's really funny. I've never seen a blue and green horse before. Was there a blue and green horse?
I think the black horse looked a little bit blue.
Okay, it might have been blue. I don't know. I have my screen like super down on the brightness because I had a headache this morning, so I had to like take off all the blue light. So it might have been blue. And number three is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
Woo! Wow. Okay. And then someone else wanted number four. I feel like everybody kind of rooted for a different horse, which is great.
Yes.
This one was the punk horse. There you go.
He's going through his punk phase right now. Right
No.
now.
Hey, Madeline, saying hi. Fans say hey and good luck on what you are working on. I got through a couple of potholes, but then I just found more. So I'm gonna call it for
Oh
today.
no.
Don't you hate that where you're like, yes, I figured it out, and then you're like, but now you gotta fix this. Like,
Yes.
no.
Oh. Oh, that's the worst.
Everyone, Maddie seems to be very popular.
Yes.
The
Stop, Maddie.
definition of insanity is taking the same number and expecting different results. I guess it paid off this time.
Yes. It's not insane if it works.
I know. Well, hopefully, Charlie, you made it for a little bit of the sprint because I think there was one time I can't remember if it was you, Charlie, or somebody else, who was like, "I'm here," and it was like right when I was finishing. I'm like, "No, I'm sorry."
Also, Charlie, is that a new profile picture? Because I love it.
Oh, I did notice that.
So cute.
Look at that.
Did you draw that?
Let me see. Hold on. It's so cute. I
It's so
love
good.
it. All right, you should be more scared of moose than bears unless it's a polar bear. Then you die.
Yeah. Polar bears are they're a different breed. We don't we,
They're
polar
different.
bears are different.
I mean, honestly, anything that can survive those super cold temperatures, you know what? Like, I get it. You're a different breed and you're just mad all the time and you just eat anything in sight. And I can't even blame you, honestly. I can't even, I get it. I probably would be the same way if I was always in like freezing temperatures. Even if you have a coat on, it's still not fun for the most part.
Yeah. No, and
Oh,
ever since I watched Wildcrats as a kid, polar bears have scared me because there is a Wildcrats about polar bears and then walrus, how they would always like fight each other. And for a cartoon, like they were pretty intense fights. I just remember watching it and being like, "Oh my gosh, like these creatures are brutal."
I know. It's a good thing that they can only really like stay in super cold temperatures because I don't want to be seeing no polar bear out here. Not in Montana. Mm-mm. They
I
would have
know.
to get out all of Canada before they get here. So sorry,
Yeah,
Canada.
right.
I know. Oh, Alice apparently knows how to deal with moose because they're in parks where she mountain bikes. So Alice, you're gonna have to give us some tips so
Yes.
that we don't get killed by moose. Ugh. And yay, someone else knows the movie Spirit.
Yes.
And my friend knows the series you're talking about. So,
Oh yeah. I
hey,
remember that was like we had to read Misty of Shingotique for like fourth grade, third
Mhm.
grade. And then that was the assigned reading, but then I loved it so much I literally read like the whole series. I don't know how many books, but there is like four or five maybe. And I just, yeah, I read them all for fun. It was basically like, I think a lot of them were wild horses, and then they got trained, and then they like were, it was very much like a horse book, you know. They
Yeah.
became friends with the girl and the people who were working with them, and
Oh.
yeah, it was sweet though.
And then I guess that the animated movie Spirit won a bunch of awards for the landscape. Landscape is really pretty. They basically added in like it kind of is supposed to have like Wild West vibes to it. So it's just like all open terrain. It's
Yes, just like home.
yeah, just like here. Hans Zimmer soundtrack. Is it Hans Zimmer?
Oh,
Wait, Tarzan is Hans Zimmer, right? Am I getting that wrong?
I don't know. I
Anyway,
know Hans Zimmer did a lot of them,
it's
but
it's too early in the morning to figure it out. And it looks like Charlie did draw her profile picture. That's so fun.
oh my goodness.
I love it.
I want that talent so bad.
That would
Dang.
honestly make my life as an author so much easier if I knew how to draw really well.
Yes. I would love to illustrate my own books, but then like
Yeah,
I would have to know how to illustrate first, and that's kind of a problem.
I know. That's a big bummer, huh? Like I would really love to draw this. Or like if you wanted to like draw maps and stuff, like, ooh, that'd be so fun if I
Yes.
could draw maps. And then I draw a map and it looks like a scribble from a child that's like, here's my treasure hunt. And I'm like, that's
I
not.
I try to draw maps, but it just throws me off because they're not to scale, and I just there's math involved with making them to scale, and I don't want to do that math. I
No.
don't. So I'm like, well, I do like sometimes if I have to, if there's like a lot of traveling, I'll draw a map just for myself to have a reference, and it will not be to scale, but just so I have an idea of like where they are in relation to other things. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, I don't think I would draw it myself before to put in my book. It would just be like my own notes.
The basic like north, south, east, west, pretty doable. Yeah, but to scale, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Well, yay! I'm so glad that we were able to do sprints this morning. I'm so happy I finally had someone on my channel. I think this is. Let me think. Is this the first time that I've had somebody on my channel? I think it is.
Really? Oh my goodness.
I think so.
Because
Yeah,
the
'cause
last one we did was on my channel, I think.
yeah, we did it on your channel, and then I've been trying to do more on mine. So I think you're the first person who's ever come on here.
Ah,
Yay!
I feel so honored.
Look
And
at
this
that.
is really fun because I think we're talking about this too. I love like morning sprints because
Mhm.
I need something to get me going.
Right.
And this
Oh,
was really good.
this morning I did not want to get up, and I had no excuse of why I didn't want to get up because it's not like I stayed up really late. I was exhausted by like 10:30 last night, and I slept from 10:30 to like 7:45, and I was like, oh no, I got 30 minutes to get everything done.
Actually, I tried to go to bed like earlier last night because I was like, okay, then I'll be like more awake. But then, speaking of soundtracks, I don't know, YouTube recommended I was scrolling through YouTube, which I shouldn't have been doing anyway before I was going to bed, but I was. And like all of these video game soundtracks popped up, like the Skyrim, and then but they're like the epic covers of them or The Witcher. And so I was like listening to all of them and jamming out. And then I was like, it before I knew it, it was like 11:30, almost 12, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, this was a failed experiment going to bed early. But it was kind of nice. It was like a peaceful way to wind down, listening to the epic music.
Music does magical things. It, it does. Well, I'm so glad that so many people could show up too. Like, look at all of the comments. There's so many people here. I am so happy that some of the regulars are here and some new people too. So thanks for coming and joining. And I have, there we go. I have Helene's YouTube information down below. I'll make sure that it's like all updated and stuff. Make sure that the link works because I made I made the bottom like a while ago. So I will make sure that that's all situated. You should go check out her channel. She's got really great stuff. And you said you post twice a week, right? Or you usually post
It's around twice a week. I don't have like a consistent schedule yet, but about twice a week.
Oh, well, you do better than me because there are some weeks where I'm just like, I don't feel like it. I mean, I want to post something. I do. I just don't want to film.
Oh, I feel that there are definitely some weeks where I'm like, maybe I'll just do another live stream and that'll be my other video because yeah, I feel that for sure.
I love live streams because you can just be like, I'll just do this really quick and then boom, video. Wow,
yeah.
Done. And people seem to like them.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Awesome. Yay. Well, thanks so much for spending your morning with us and hope everyone has a great rest of their day. See you later, guys.
Bye.